Hi, my name's Mel. I work for the International Travel College of New Zealand. This is an online tutorial for Unit 11097. After completing this unit, you will achieve 3 credits at Level 3. The purpose of this unit is to gain information in an interactive situation, but by listening actively. So in hindsight, you're actually recording a conversation or an event of communication with somebody else. This could be in home, at school, over a Zoom tutorial, even with friends in a social activity, or anything that you have actually been able to communicate with somebody else. So this is an explanation of how to complete this unit independently. Please make sure you refer back to these YouTube tutorials as much as you need to, and if you need any further assistance, you email schools@itc.co.nz or get in touch with your own school contact. First of all, and importantly, fill out the front page of this assessment. You'll need to fill out your name, your class is your school name. Please make sure you sign this document, and don't worry about student ID. If there is a section that you need to fill that in. Tutor, you need to put Mel or ITC, and then your due date, which might be just the date you complete this. The second page is information not for yourself, it's simply for us for marking purposes. Simply go straight to task 1. So it says that during either work experience or at school or at home or during a school group activity or even something that's in a social activity, you've maybe had the opportunity to communicate with others. So now you've communicated with them, and it would be good to actually do something that's more recent so that you can answer the questions easier. It says that you must discuss how you paraphrase, how you've been questioning, or how you've summarized during that actual talking process with that other person. So let's explain what each of those things are. So a paraphrase is using another type of word to explain what you mean. So if you're saying, go and put your shoes on over there, and someone goes, I don't know what you mean, just say, your shoes are by the wall, you need to put them on. So it's the same thing, but you're saying it in a different way. Questioning is simply asking questions. If you don't ask questions, you won't know information, an important information that might help you to help the other person. Summarizing is basically like what we would do at the end of this assessment, is just give you a recap or a summary of what we've already said. So it's a shortened version of what we've said. So let's go straight to filling out this assessment. Simply put the date of when you actually did speak to that person or what you're talking about. Then you put, if you were to label what the conversation was about, like for me right now, it's a tutorial, you'd put that there where it says context or subject of the event. The first question, what information did you gain from this communication event? So what happened? What was the information? B, what were your responses to the non-verbal cues, and how did this fit the context or subject? So did you respond to someone's unspoken cues? Now a non-verbal cue is, for example, if they start to go a little bit like this. That means they might be a little bit confused. Did you respond to that? Did you say, oh, did you not understand? Or do you want me to explain it another way? Or it could be that they're nodding because they agree with you early on in the conversation. So how did you respond to the non-verbal stuff? What were your responses to the non-verbal cues? How did this fit the context and subject matter? So how did you actually respond to them with the non-verbal stuff in regards to the whole subject that you're talking about? So for me, it's if you started looking at me a little bit strange, like you weren't sure about what I was talking about, I'm talking about an assessment, how did you respond? Do you understand this assessment? Do you understand what I'm explaining to you? So that's how I'm relating it back to what I'm talking about, the assessment. C, what did you paraphrase during this communication event? I have actually paraphrased already a couple of times when explaining how to answer these questions. So an example, I guess, is how did you change the way you said something so it was better understood by the person you're speaking to. Paraphrasing you do usually without even realizing it. So it's saying the same thing again, but in a different way to make it easier. I've just paraphrased again. Okay, D. What did you summarize during this communication event? So again, at the end of this tutorial, I might, in summary, explain what we've gone through. So how did you summarize? Did you kind of recap at the end of your chat with that person? Oh, remember I said, I'll see you at 5 on Saturday. And that's at the end. So you've been talking about this Saturday event with your friends. We're going to go to the movies. And at the very end, okay, see you at 5 on Saturday. That's a summary. That's recapping what you're talking about. E, what questions did you ask to clarify information during this communication event? So did you have to ask any questions? What were those questions? And did it help you clarify? I guess if we're talking about the movies again, it's like, oh, well, what movie did you want to see again? And just to clarify that you've got the right end of the stick. So you might need to ask a few questions during that talk. And what were they? What did you, and we're going on to F now, what did you do to cater for the culture of the person you're communicating with? If they're of the same culture, then you need to write that, and so there wouldn't have been any adjustment. You wouldn't have had to change the way you were talking. In some cultures, you need to be careful about what you speak about. You wouldn't speak about certain things that might offend them. If you're speaking to someone who maybe doesn't eat a certain food because of their culture, you might obviously think of an option to go somewhere where they can have their food choices. It could be anything that you have done to make them feel more comfortable because their culture is slightly different from your own. What did you do? So you just need to describe that if you've actually done anything at all. Please don't forget to write the date and time. If you don't know the time, just give an example of around about the time that you may have actually done that. If you're actually working somewhere, then you need to put the company name where it states to put it, and you need to get them to sign it, someone that you're working with. It doesn't have to be the owner of the company, it can be anyone else within the company. If you're basing this on something outside of work, then obviously you just need to put where you've done this talk or the location, and then just get maybe your gateway coordinator, star coordinator or careers advisor to sign it for you, or your teacher, or even a parent if you like. So task 2 is exactly the same questions, and the answers would be very much the same. It's just about a different chat you've had with somebody else. As it says, date of communication event number 2. So it has to be different from the first one. So you are basically, in summary, so summarizing what I've talked to you about today, 11097 is about you talking about 2 different types of communication events, 2 times that you've spoken to somebody and had to get some information from them. Please don't hesitate to watch this again. Please do not hesitate to reach out to our friendly team. We are here to help you achieve this unit standard. And if you have any questions, please see someone at school or email schools@itc.co.nz. All the best with completing your online unit.